Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita for children. Today we'll be doing chapter 12, the Yoga of Devotion, or the Bhakti Yoga, in which Krishna gives Arjuna the definition of a true devotee. Arjuna did not need any more convincing. How could he not believe, after that wondrous vision that had been granted to him, that Krishna was none other than the Lord himself? He understood now that death was just another step in the long, long journey of the soul towards the Absolute One himself. He understood now why he had no choice but to stand and fight. That was the role that had been handed to him in this lifetime, and performing that role well was not only his duty and his responsibility, but one of the easiest ways to get to the ultimate destination, to reach the divine. However, Arjuna still needed to clarify a couple of things. You are the formless, nameless one, Lord. I understand that now. But there are devotees, sincere in their devotion and their love for you, who choose to worship symbols of you, trees, cows, the sacred fire, forms that they believe to be you. They give these forms different names, call them God, friend, child, mother, and father. They pour their heart and soul into these forms, singing their praises, doing their work in your name. I'm confused, Lord, and only you can clear my mind on this one. Who is the greater yogi? The one who worships you as the Absolute, or the one who chooses to worship you through a form, a name, or a symbol? There's no doubt, Arjuna, said the Lord, that those who worship me in the Absolute will come to me. But it is not easy for the soul that is within a body to break free, to see me as I really am. It is far easier to look for me and find me in the many forms that you can see and touch and hear around you. I would say that the man who can do that, treat every man, woman, and child the same, seeing me in them, treating every creature with love, for I am in each of them. Treat the earth with respect, feeling my presence in her, is the greater yogi. And therefore, I say to you, Partha, fix your mind and your understanding on me alone. At every moment, whatever else you may be doing. If that is too difficult, then at least try and get there by the regular, disciplined practice of meditation. Eventually, you will be able to meditate on me throughout the day without even thinking about it. Arjuna looked around him, a question in his eyes, but Krishna had already sensed it. If your life is so full of action that it is hard to put aside time for the practice of meditation, then simply offer up your action to me as you do it. If even that is too hard, if you cannot remember to offer your actions to me, then at least carry out your actions selflessly, without any desire for reward, with no expectations of a particular result. If you can do that, just one thing is enough. For that one thing, doing action with no desire, is far more difficult to practice than simple devotion, far harder to achieve than single-minded concentration, and brings far more peace than all the knowledge and wisdom in the world. Let me say it again, clearly, simply. Let me define a true devotee for you, Partha. Number 1, he who has no ill will towards anyone. Number 2, he who is friendly and compassionate. Number 3, he who is free of the ego, the sense of I, me, and mine. Number 4, he who is even-minded in pleasure and pain. Number 5, he who is always content. Number 6, he who has self-control and doesn't let his senses rule his mind. Number 7, he who has willpower, whose determination is unshakable. Number 8, he from whom the world does not shrink from fear or disgust or hatred. Number 9, he who is free of anger and joy, fear, and anxiety. Number 10, he whose actions do not cause grief to anyone. Number 11, he who does not feel grief because of anyone's action. Number 12, he who has no expectations. Number 13, he who is pure in his thoughts. Number 14, he who is skillful in action. Number 15, he who has stopped thinking of himself as the doer of the action and sees himself instead as part of a grand plan that involves everything else in the universe. Number 16, he who is unconcerned about the results of his action. Number 17, he who is untroubled by whatever result his action produces. Number 18, he who is free of desire. Number 19, he who does not hate. Number 20, he who has given up judging actions by the terms good and evil. Number 21, he who behaves exactly the same towards friend and foe. Number 22, he who behaves exactly the same towards someone who has a good reputation and towards someone with a bad reputation. Number 23, he who is free of attachment. Number 24, he who treats blame and praise in exactly the same way. Number 25, he who does not speak too much, who is restrained in his speech. Number 26, he who is content with whatever he has and whatever comes his way. Number 27, he who has no attachment to the place he calls home, who considers the whole world to be his home, and every creature in it his family. Such a man, Arjuna, is my devotee, such a man who is dear to me, and among such men who have complete faith in me, who think of me as their ultimate aim and rejoice in me, they are very, very dear to me. That is the end of this chapter. Thank you all for listening. Jai Sriman Narayana.